on the All-American Journal.
Aloha, my name is Mike Buchanan and welcome to All-American Journal. We have 4 St. Louis seniors today that we're going to be chatting with about what the Lord's doing in their life and what they've learned through their sporting events. Today we have right now Chad and Timmy Chang, Chad Kahale. Is that close enough? Kahale? Thanks, brother. Anyways, we want to talk to them and find out what the Lord's been doing in their life and teaching them through sports. So that would be the first question. Obviously, both of these guys just signed a letter of intent to go to UH. It's good to have some local boys stay home. How are you feeling about that? What kind of excitement did you feel last week when you signed your letter of intent?
Oh, it was kind of weird for me. It's like I'm putting my line in the line and I'm signing my life away, but I was excited to say I'm staying at home, playing with my family, and we're going to win another WAC championship.
That's the right attitude. Timmy Chang, a well-noted quarterback around the nation even. How did you feel last week when you finally made that decision to wear the green and white?
There's a lot of pressure off my back, but it feels good knowing that I'm staying home and, playing football here in front of these great Hawaii fans.
That's right, they're great. I've missed 1 game in 9 years, so it's been awesome to be down there and watch the Bows arrive, have some great leadership now with Coach June Jones, George Lumpkins, Vance Singletary, a whole host of great coaches, Rich Miano and so on. And there's you guys will really enjoy playing for them and working for them and hopefully putting on that green and white and bringing home another WAC championship. But we want to go beyond the sports, the typical sports questions, and ask you, what are some of the greatest lessons that you've learned over the last 4 or 5 years playing sports? We always hear that sports develops character. I think that sports really reveal character a lot of times in people's lives, so you can really see who you are and what you're about. And what are some of the lessons that you have learned over the last 3-4 years in your athletic career?
Well, I learned you have to be a team player. It's not only you're working by yourself, but I'm working with 4 other big offensive linemen with me, and if we don't work together, we don't get it done. And I also learned that you have to have high integrity. You just can't go out there with a real bad attitude and beef with everybody. You got to keep it cool and have a great time, but at the same time, kick some butt.
Yeah, I like that. For the Lord, of course. But what we want to do is, as Timmy, what are some of the lessons that you've really looked back, and you'll look back on your high school career and your Pop Warner career, and you play basketball as well here, right? What are some of the things you learned about there? We've talked a little bit about the team aspect, and that's the way the body of Christ needs to work together, because we all have spiritual gifts, and we all have our role and part in it. And obviously, you're going to catch it when you lose, and you're going to get it when you win. And then he said earlier when we were just chatting, he said, "Remember, Timmy, I'm the one that protects you." So we appreciate Chad and that team function. But what are some of the things you've learned?
I've learned that in sports there must be a winner and a loser sometimes, and you can't be the winner all the time. So you must learn to lose sometimes, and being quarterback out there, it's a leadership position, and my job is to get everybody to work together, get everybody on the same page and just move forward.
And with all the great St. Louis teams we've seen here and win state championships and the great run you've had, how many losses have you guys went through?
I would say we lost, I think, 4 times. 4 times.
That's not bad. That's all I won in my varsity high school career. We won in other sports, but not football. What were some of the feelings that were attached to those losses, and how did you bounce back from that? And what did Coach, instruct you guys to do is when you needed to bounce back after having a loss?
A lot of this past year was a very disturbing loss when we lost to Quinn. We lost pretty big, but we brought the team together, a lot of unity, a lot of teamwork. As seniors being leaders, we brought the team together to just bond together and hopefully accomplish the same goal, and that's winning.
That's awesome. Now I wanted to ask you guys just to bring this more into some spiritual application in your lives. Do you guys have a favorite verse or a favorite passage or idea that you've brought out of the Bible that has helped you compete? Because often, it's, like for me, one of the things I struggled with is I used to leave God in the locker room. But is there something that you take to the field mentally, or a favorite verse that really helps you go out there and compete for the Lord, Chad?
Oh, my favorite verse I usually say is, if God is with us, who can be against us? So,
Well, what does that really mean to you when you go out there, and bring that into some practical application for us?
well, I know if I'm doing God's will and if I'm on God's side, that no matter what I do and if I give it my all, God would always come out and help us become victorious. And so,
Right. If God is standing with us, who can stand against us? Hey, Timmy, how about you? You got a favorite passage? You've got a lot to think about. You got to know where your receiver's at, where your running backs are, and make sure all those linemen are lined up right, and they can get confused easily, right? No, don't say that. They're protecting you. But what are some of the key things spiritually that have helped you mature into the quarterback that you've become so far?
Well, my favorite verse is I could do all things through God who strengthens me. And I believe that, when things are not looking good, I always pray to the Lord. I always look for his guidance and wisdom and his advice. And in my heart, I know He's there with me, and
Right.
He gives me my strength and power. It comes from
Yeah.
Him, and what I do is His work that I put out there.
Yeah, it's easy to go to the Lord when the chips are hitting the fan, so to speak, But, okay, what about when things are on a high after a win? How do you exalt the Lord afterwards?
Well, I like to take a moment of silence every day. After every game, I pray in my locker, thank Him for all the wonderful things He done. Hopefully no one got hurt. That's what I pray for mostly, not the win or the victory. It's mostly everybody staying healthy, being protected by the Lord, under His wing.
Good. Now, you're at a school that teaches the Bible. Could you imagine yourselves without that daily input? Hearing about God daily, sort of like a reminder, like the bugle call every day. God is alive. If we sin, there's consequences. Can you imagine going to a public school? And what does it mean to you to be here at St. Louis High School and be reminded of God and the truths in the Bible on a daily basis? Has that helped you? Has it been frustrating at times? What's the reality for those people out there at the other public schools that are lacking hearing the Ten Commandments and lacking the prayer and lacking that? What kind of difficulties would you think would ensue there? John?
well, at this school, since we're like a big brotherhood over here, we're just all together. We're just a big family. And, there's really no big disputes because we have the Lord in here and we're always praying, and we have our religion classes and we're learning about God and God's way. So we just treat each other like we want to treat each other.
Yeah, that's great, and that's the way it should be. Treat each other as our neighbors and love them as you love yourself. And Timmy, on the flip side of that, it's like, how do you just reach out to other people and look for each other and being reminded? What kind of things do you sense, and what are you grateful for being at a school that you're reminded of the Bible every day? And could you imagine your life if you weren't, and maybe what you would be doing?
I think being reminded daily is very good for things that you look for in life. And I feel that if I was in an environment like St. Louis or a Mariners community, I feel I'd be in trouble. I'd be getting into trouble doing things that I probably wouldn't want to do, and hurting myself. But knowing the value of life and the decision between good and wrongs, I know that I can make that decision here, and I'm reminded daily about it.
And there's a real sense of being on a campus where a lot of people are believing in the same thing and getting a lot of support there, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that you're going to step out of this scene come May or June, right, onto your college careers, you're going to be a mile away from here on campus. The rules aren't going to be as tight. Where do you hope to find some accountability, find some Christian friends, Catholic friends, where you can get that kind of fellowship?
Well, I like how we have it over here. We have a SCC, Small Christian Communities. I hope to see if we can find one at University of Hawaii. I'm pretty sure they would have something, a small Christian community.
Well, you happen to be lucky because that's what I run at UH, Athletes in Action over there, and we're a small Christian community, and our three goals are to win people to Christ through love and showing him what Christ is all about, building them up in their faith, and then hopefully sending them out when they mature to reach others. So That same question to you, Timmy, as far as like, what do you hope to find over at UH, and what do you hope to develop and grow into over at the University of Hawaii?
Well, I would like to grow, like, be a family, like how we are at St. Louis. The brotherhood that we have here is very tight. I mean, the friends that we make here, they'll probably be my friends forever, you know. And but I guess going to UH, I guess, you know, just staying strong at school and going to church every day, every week.
That's good. And hopefully you guys have some home churches and have been growing. Do any of you guys, what was your life like before you came to St. Louis? Did you grow up in a home that respected the Trinity and the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and God, or was this something new to you when you came to St. Louis High School?
Well, on my mom's side of the family, she does the same tradition stuff. But then on my dad's side of the family is the wild side. So we had the mixture between. But when I came here, it was a steady flow of Christian values and stuff like that. So I had it, but now it's more foundation, now it's solid.
That's great, Chad. How about you, Timmy?
I think I came here in 6th grade, and before that I didn't have real knowledge of the Lord. But now since I came here, you know, daily we learn about religion every day. So, you know, I'm aware of it now, and you know, I'm a strong believer of it.
That's good. Well, how has it changed your life, this newfound faith that you may have discovered in junior high or high school?
Well, you know, just maturing more, you know, just growing up is part of growing up, and I didn't have the real knowledge in elementary, just being young, just doing my thing, and just being a little kid. But now when I mature, it's been a difference in my life, knowing the Lord.
That's awesome. Thanks. How about you, Chad?
Oh, well, like I was saying, my foundation, it was starting to grow and stuff like that. And I was seeing that by playing sports with Lord, you become a better person out there on the field and off the field, and that with God's strength, we come out victorious.
That's absolutely right. With God's strength, we do come out victorious. Now, as far as what would you say is the single most greatest lesson that the Lord's taught you through your high school experience? Not necessarily the athletics, the football, basketball, football, wrestling, but just what's been the greatest lesson that you've learned through your high school years?
Oh, my greatest experience through my high school years, I think teammanship, because like everything we do in this school, we pretty much work together. Like I have problems with my homework, my friend helps me, and he has problems, I help him. On the football field, if I have a problem, my teammates help me. So I think that's the greatest lesson he taught me.
That's awesome. Timmy, what has the greatest lesson been for you?
I think I gotta agree with Chad. Just unity, bringing everything together, just working together to achieve one. He's taught me that, you know, without your friends, without your family, you know, you can't do it alone. You gotta look to somebody to help you and guide you, be by your side. So, you know, teamwork and working together.
How have you looked to God to help you, though? So, I mean, specifically.
I've looked to God to be a strength daily. I pray to Him every night to, you know, just give me strength, give my family strength, you know, when times are tough or when times are going good, you know, you just thank Him, you step aside and you give Him a prayer of thanks and praise.
Good. Sounds like we've got two men that have really begun to trust the Lord, and we're excited about that. We're excited to see Him in the green and white next year, and it's exciting to talk to you guys. And I get to watch you grow up for the next 4 or 5 years, and now that you've confessed your faith, I'm going to put the saddle on your backs and keep an eye on you over at campus. This is Mike Buchanan with All-American Journal, and we'll be right back after this break with two more St. Louis outstanding athletes.